Yes, I think we are live now. Uh, Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing well. First of all, welcome to the live session. I hope you all are healthy, happy, and safe from whichever the part of the world you are joining from. My name is Yash, and I lead the community efforts here at D5. We are a global data science community started with the vision to democratize data science education. And in our constant endeavor for the same, we keep conducting regular boot camps, live sessions, data challenges, and much more. Our today's initiative is one such endeavor, and many thanks to Cornelius for making it happen. I'm sure like many of you would already know him, but for others, Cornelius is a seasoned data science professional with 5+ years of work experience. He's currently working at Allianz Indonesia, where he's responsible for establishing data science culture, leading global teams, and taking the data science project to the next level and making it successful. Beyond work, he also actively contributes to the community in form of live sessions like these. And he's also one of the very active writers on Medium and is like among the top 1,000 writers from all across the globe. So yeah, now without further ado, I'd like to let him take over the session. And yeah, Cornelius, over to you.
All right, thank you very much just for the warm welcome, and thank you everyone. Good day, good night, or good morning, wherever you are. Yes, just already introduced myself. Yeah, my name is Cornelius, and I'm from Indonesia, and I'm working in Allianz Indonesia, as he told about. So, like right now, I want to we have like some discussion. So it's like more let's just take it easy because it's like more like informal discussion. But what I want to share is right now is not not more about the technical things, but more about the business side of how you could sharpen your business sense as a data scientist. Because right now, I know that a lot of people, like when you are want to going to into the data scientist, or even if you are already being a data scientist or even data expert, not necessarily a data scientist, business sense is always important, because the first thing that you will do when you are doing the project or you are establish some kind of machine learning or even just like analyzing data, the first thing that you need to know is about the business itself, because you are employed or even like if you are doing the project is to solve some kind of a business problem. Any kind of a business problem is already could become a machine learning project or even could be a data project. But if you doesn't understand about what the business want, it's you kind of find a target that what kind of the things that we need to solve. So that's why in this discussion that I want to share a little bit more about how and why that we need to know about business and sharpen how we could sharpen your business sense as a data scientist. So let me try share my screen right now. All right, I hope everybody could see this my screen. So yeah, as the title said that I will talking about data science and business, and this is especially for the sharpening your business sense as for data science. So let's talk a little bit about my short profile that I already talked about. Yeah, I'm a data scientist at Allianz Indonesia, but my background is actually previously coming from biology. So if everyone that thinking that you're a data scientist need to become coming from the IT or technological, I actually coming from some more into science, and I actually going to become quite good at the data science things, I think. But yeah, I mean, like if you are going to be want to go to data scientist, your background doesn't matter. What matters is that you really want it. Then one thing that I could say that why I could become a data scientist is because I also not just learning about the technological side, but when I was going into the data science field, learning about the business. So this is also some kind of tips that my fellow friend that already being a data scientist longer than me, he really told me that business is one thing that you could stand out. So when you are presenting or when you are having a project, you should try to have like this kind of explanation why the business is important and your project to solve it. So that's why when I was like going to the data science from my biological background as a researcher, this business is actually quite one of the thing that helped me. Of course, like the technological and the programming and the statistics is also really help. But this is one of the things. So, okay, enough me talking about myself. So let's go into the material. First, I want to define first what, because we are talking about data science, of course, I want to define what the data science that we are talking about. This is some kind of scientific method that we could get useful information, especially from the computer data right now, from the large amount of data. So right now, when we are talking about data science, we are using some kind of computer, some kind of programming language, a large amount of data, and using the scientific method. So one thing that we are know the statistic, one thing we know about programming, and one thing we need to know about the business. But right now, data science this is the definition. But let's say why we are important for the data science in the business, because it's something that Thomas Hayes Davenport, a really important person in the data field, he said that every company will has big data in this future, and every company will be eventually in the data business. We are, as a data science, having to know that you are going to be in the data business. Even if you are employed in any kind of a business, you are, as a data scientist, you are actually also involved in the data business. So when you are already become a data scientist, or you want to become data science, you are need to think about how the business is going to work and how the data gonna help the business. So why I keep talking about the business, please keep the business. Isn't that like the activity of the data scientist is like more like programming, modeling, or just like analyzing data, right? So basically, if we are going to summarize what the activity of the data scientist, there are actually not exactly of the data scientists, because there are no really exact that every company need to do this, and that. Every company have their own framework. Every company have their own things to do. But there's always a common denominator. Data scientists always work to solve the business problem. We are working as a data scientist. We are doing all of this activity, from the data management, reporting, descriptive, for the machine learning. We are all doing this, going to solve the business problem. Because of that, whatever that we do, whatever that we are having our reporting, we are only doing the descriptive, we are already doing the optimization of the machine learning, we are doing already the predictive, or even all of this that we do. This is aimed to solve whatever the business problem we ask to solve. We are employed as a data scientist to solve the business problem. So this is why we like really important that we are always need to remember when we are become data scientists. Okay, they have a problem. They want to employ us because they have a problem. What kind of problem? Is always a business problem. And the business problem, of course, is different for each company. Like for my example, in my own company, like in the insurance, everybody know Allianz insurance industry. Yeah, they have a problem, for example, like a fraud claim, or they have like a problem in optimizing the process of the complaint that coming to them, or even the process of the extracting the information of who's gonna be the customer or the customer journey. This is like this is like a really, and it's a project, of course, like when you are doing it. But we are always need to remember there's some kind of business that they need to solve. Like what I talked before, like for example, like fraud claim. They have like something that they need to solve. They have like a problem that there's a fraud in their claim. What kind of fraud? What kind of claim? That's the thing we need to keep asking them. So it's going to be next. After this, that I'm going to explain more about my example, but I want to talk about more about this data scientist skills first. When you are become a data scientist, this is like some kind of modern data scientist things that I found from the marketing distillery. The data scientist skill having 5 important points: from programming languages, database language, statistical method, business understanding, and communication. If you really take account, really take focus here, like in the picture, this is already have like a quarter of the skill that also really necessary, or like 20% or 5%, that the skill that necessary, not just programming, not just math, but domain knowledge and soft skill, especially for the business. So everybody already acknowledge, like from the modern data scientists right now, the work that data scientists do, that business understanding, business mindset is already need to be instilled in our mind as a data scientist. Yeah, I keep repeating that the business is important, but because this is something, I keep repeating this because it's something that people often forget. It's just like, what's it called? Yeah. When I talk with the other people, like especially for the enthusiast data that go to data, going to the data science field, they always talking about already have done the programming language, already done like SQL, already have learning statistic. But I almost rare to find that people, why you are doing this project? Have you already, why you interested in this project? What is the benefit of this project? This is coming from the business understanding of the project. And this kind of benefit from the project that you do will become the actual things that gonna be stand out if you are giving it in your project. Yes, sure, programming language is important, database language skill that necessary, statistics is necessary, but the project need to have like some kind of benefit. What benefit that the company could get when they are using this project? So yeah, that's why I keep repeating the business understanding and the business importance. But of course, like I will talk more focus after this. Going to be what kind of the things that we could do to actually sharpen our senses as a data scientist for the business. Okay, if we are talking about data science in business, there's a lot of application. Data scientists have a lot of application during in the business. For example, make a smarter decision, make a better product. We could efficiently managing the business. Then we could leverage the data for the study of business. We are going to assessing the decision of business and even automate everything. So that's why it's kind of important to have like some kind of data science in place in the business. We need to understand the business, but the business also need the data science. So it's like integration between the two of the two stuff. Okay. So this is from the data science, from the article Design Thinking Mindset for Data Science. This is something that I found really interesting. Some data scientists need to have three kind of mindset that need to be instilled. We need to have like a mindset that we are the data mindset. Basically, we are need to know that where the data is, how to analyze the data, what kind of the data column, where is it? So basically the sources. Then we need to have like a technical mindset, of course. Like we are know how to analyze the data. We know how to statistically know this is the right technique, and we know this is the right column and the right database, the technique pipeline, and the machine learning. But most of the data science projects that are done having only the data and technical mindset. So as you can see this, when they are overlapping in this Venn diagram, the technical and data mindset is the most data science project. But the successful data science project is also something that know what the business want, what is the impact. So the business mindset that I already talked before is one of the criteria that we are as a data scientist success in this project. What is the impact? What do you want to solve? What do you want to have in this data science project? So this is something that a mindset that we need to be instilled at every time we are working on the project. So just like in the real case, I'm gonna share a little bit in my real case, like in my place. Like business always coming first. When we are having a project, we are not just suddenly coming to have like, okay, I want to create previously I said like a fraud to the claim fraud project to detect which one is the claim that was fraud. We are not just like suddenly making it into in the air, like not just like suddenly training the model, putting in the production, and then having everyone using this model to detect the fraud. But we are talking with the business user first, and we are talking about the possibility of what kind of the fraud, what kind of the claim, what kind of benefit that you want from this fraud claim, how much of the fraud that you want to reduce, what kind of risk that we take if we are having like a false positive. So it is like also a business impact. Is there a reputational impact? Is there a monetary impact? Is there some kind of impact? This is something that really in the process we are a data scientist. Data scientist is really close with the business, and African, because like the data science project is always going to be integrated with the business line. The impact is we need to making sure that the impact is clear. So like my example before that, I always talking with the business user, what kind of the thing that we are going to solve. So we have a clear project, we have a clear target. Without a clear target and or the clear impact, it's like it's a project that cannot be yeah, it's half done basically, it's half big. And usually it's going to be have a high technical debt, and basically we are need to wasting a lot of time just to readjust for the business if we are not addressing it from the beginning. So yeah, just like I said before, why business sense is important for data scientists. Most common problem why data science project fail is because there's no clear communication between the user and the data scientist. This is really true, especially for a beginner in the company that just established their data science project. I have a lot of story that I know from my friend who just hired, their company just hired a new data scientist. The data scientist might be a senior, but the business user doesn't know what is data science is. And basically, they just usually often the business who just new in the data science just say like, yeah, we have this kind of problem, blah blah blah, and we want you to predict this and that, and just like giving them the freedom for everything. This is like not clear if you just like I want to solve this and I just want to solve everything at once. Yeah, I mean like data science project will solve it, but what kind of the project that we are talking about with the business user, what kind of thing that you want to solve. So the responsibility to have a clear communication between business user and data scientist is not just lie between on the business user, but also for the data scientist. Data scientists also always need to ask the business user, even if you are basically even they're just a junior or just like a newly in business, it still matter to know the clear what business user want. Always have a clear communication with them. Yeah, for what kind yeah, maybe there's like organizational things that you are not allowed to actually also talk directly to the business user. I know there's a possibility like that, but you can always talk with at the very least ask with senior people that we are with you, and can we talk together with the business user. Yeah, but always have clear communication. Clear communication is the key to have a successful business problem to be solved by the data science project. So that's why having a business sense will help data scientists to align the technical requirement with the business problem. The communication is important, but the business sense itself is also important. So when we are talking about business sense, is always about the business mindset that I was talking about previously. It's about having your technical project, but thinking it from the business mindset. So how to actually thinking making it more aligned between the business sense and the technical. Okay, next slide. Let me first.
Cornelius, yeah,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. There is one question from Nikhil out here.
All right, sure.
So yeah, he mentioned, like, earlier in the slides you mentioned about the importance of data science, right? His question is, how does data science can automate the recruitment process, like, automating the hiring process for any organization? If you could throw some light on it.
Sorry, can you repeat it? What kind of thing you automate?
Hiring process for any organization.
All right. Yeah, this is theoretical. You could do that basically from the profile, for example, like for the CV that you get and using the NLP, and then you already have like established a role in your business as well. You already understand that this is the historical of the people that having a good, basically good performance in the HR, and from the CV that was given, you could try to automate it using the technical, like for example, an NLP or image recognition. But it's basically still kind of machine learning modeling that you are putting in production, and then just using a probability. This is the people that was right for hire. But of course, like right now, automation, there's a lot of startups that do that for automation for hiring people. But right now, it's still kind of in debate as well. Is it like really ethical or not to let the machine to do all the automated hiring? So basically, right now, that was done is many of the company done that using the automated hiring is using it not for automatically that you are hired when the machine said that this is good, but it's like for having a higher probability to get more interview, or like for a higher probability that this is like the people that going to be proposed to be not the best, but you're going to get interview first, basically. But it's just still human things like in behind, because this is still like in debate. Yeah, this is already another discussion. For this is like AI ethical, and there's like AI compliance. This is like, it's also really interesting subject, but it's something that we could talk about maybe later. This is already ethical. Yeah.
Got it. Thanks a bunch for answering that. I think Nikhil would have won some insights from it. Thanks a bunch.
Yeah, of course. All right. So maybe we can go back to the how to our Sharpen business sense. So I proposed, this is one thing that I proposed, that how we could try to sharpen our business sense. We could using this, maybe you all already hear when you are learning about data science. Like in the business, when we are doing the data science project, we could using some kind of methodology, which is called CRISP-DM. So this CRISP-DM is a systematically data science project to having a steps where each data science project could get what's it called, like a cycle how we could do the data science project. And it's in this CRISP-DM, we are starting from the understanding, data preparation, modeling, evaluation, deployment, and going back again. In each data set project that implemented in the CRISP-DM, every kind of the decision is affected by the business decision. So using this step, we can try our business sense. So just like what right here, even for someone who are not employed as a data scientist yet, the process could be important when we are building the data science portfolio. So this is something that when we are trying to build a data science portfolio, I have tried to write one article regarding this, that rather than just using just a large machine learning model, then showing that this is having like a good accuracy, this is have a good precision. I'm more interested that when applicant or a data scientist, newly data science, showing that they understand the step-by-step how the data science project in the business is done. And CRISP-DM is one of the way to show that this is when we are talking about data science project. We are starting from basic understanding, going to data understanding, preparation of data, modeling, evaluation, and going to backend. So let's maybe dissect it one by one. What is in the end? So first, we have like a business understanding. So business understanding is like a phase to understand what the business want to solve. So typically, this is what kind of the business question and what is the objective of your business. So this is when we are talking about the beginning why we want to have like this data science project. We are determine what the business question and objective. So from the business perspective, what do you want? What is the business criteria? How we are success when we are the business success? What is the criteria? Is it like increase in the sales? Is it like increase in the satisfaction customer, or like a decrease in churn, or anything? So when we are talking about the technical, usually like the machine learning model accuracy, right? For example, accuracy or precision or ROC. But we could actually relate it from our machine learning model to the business success criteria. For example, when you are like having like a 70% accuracy or 70% precision. So what does it mean by 70% precision? For example, that we are having like a machine learning model for new leads, customer leads that we are going to sell. So we have 70% precision. 70%, and then this predicted like 100 that going to buy. So with 70%, maybe it's going to be have like a 70 people that actually projected to be successfully buy. So from the business criteria, we want to have like 70 people that actually convert or buy. From this machine learning model, actually success, right? Because like this is 70% precision and 70 people that from the 100 that predicted, 70 people, 100 predicted going to buy with 70% precision. The 70 people that might be buy. But this is something that you need to have like a more training, have like more think in depth, because like every kind of business criteria is going to be different for every single business. But of course, like not just people who already being work in the company. Determine the business question is also people who are just who want building your data science portfolio. Having the business question is one of the things that need to be in there. What is the objective? So when you are building the portfolio, determine what is the business question, what is the objective, and what is the business success criteria. And then next, we have like a situation assessment. So we could assess the resource availability, then determine the project goal before. Yeah, it's just a little bit similar to the objective, and then develop the project plan. So if you already have this kind of business understanding from the beginning, it's really going to stand out. Like develop the project plan, you already have like detailed plan on each project phase that are going to be determined. This is the objective. Then going to have this machine learning model that are going to predict it, that going to have leads, and then going to be given to the marketing, for example. Like even like if you have having like the period, more detail, more good. But of course, like I know that this is something that take a training, take a lot of reading, but it's something that visible. Then after from the business understanding, we are going to data understanding. So basically, data understanding is where you show everything that you understand about the data, but it's also related with the business question, of course. So basically, you already know, for example, before I have a project that I want to have customer leads to be prospect for new sales. Then we already understand the business. Then because it's a machine learning project, we need the data. Where is the data coming from? What is the data? What is the exploration about? Is the quality is good enough or not? It is something that you need to explain because when you are talking with the business people as well, business people already have a kind of what's called like a criteria, what kind of their business want, and you already know what kind of things that you want to build. But the data itself need to be aligned with the business. So for example, yeah, I have like this is a real case. Real case in the Allianz, for example, we want to have a new leads for insurance, but we need to know the product that will be sold for these new leads. Basically, the customer not going to be older than 65, and they're not going to be younger than 18. So, for example, yeah, the data going to be limited, not just every person that was available. Then you they need to not have any kind of fraud history. They need to be like the income like this and blah blah. Yeah, of course the analysis is going to be have like a lot of limited as well, but it's because this is already know the product is like this. So the data that need to be collected a little bit need to be aligned with the business. But obviously, we are still a data scientist. We are still know how to analyze the data, because like there's a lot of pattern that the business user doesn't know as well. We are the data scientists. We are better at analyzing the pattern. But at the very least, we need to like the data that we have need to be aligned with the business people. So, but I know that like this is something that happened in the real business. But if you are newly in the data field and you are using the open source data for your project, at the very least you need to explain the data, where is the data coming from, because like the data, for example, you coming from the Kaggle have like have an explanation, have a representation. This is the kind of the data coming from this, for example, like this company, or like from the website or web scraping. Just explain it. This is coming from this data. And then, of course, yeah, describe the data, export data, and verifying the data quality is something that you are must do. Giving the explanation in the project is the best. Okay.
Yeah, there is one question as well, Cornelius. In this
sure.
From one of the learners. So she wanted to understand, like, what are some of the common mistakes that people can avoid during the initial months while working as a data scientist? If you can throw some insights on it.
Initial mistakes for what? Sorry.
Like, some of the mistakes that people can avoid, like, when they are starting up their career as data scientists.
Oh, when they are starting their career in data science. For me, when I started, is something that I really wish I know previously. Yeah, of course, really understand the business, really talking with the people, improving my communication. So I know that a lot of people that, as a data scientist in the beginning, they are quite because a lot of data scientists are actually quite shy people and doesn't talk too much with the people, and the communication become bad. And the relationship between us and the business people is actually the most important part, because we are working with the business people, and without a clear communication, without the building the communication and understanding with them, our project will not go anywhere. This is really true, because like a lot of my project before, when in the beginning, there's a lot of misunderstanding because of the miscommunication that we done. They already imagine this and that. They already imagine that this is they're already done. But from my side, actually giving some kind of model that doesn't apply with this business wants. So really, like for me, the initial mistake for the newly in the career is actually the communication with the people. This is like something that I really push when we have like new people in the as a data scientist. Try to not necessarily to be extrovert or like just like going around, but asking more questions, having a good relationship, and just be more communicable. So I think this is one of the mistakes that I want people to avoid when they are starting in the career. Maybe another mistake that I going to say is not to over explore of the project. I know like exploring data is fun, but because that sometimes we have the business objective that we already talked before, right? The project, the detail of the project. But there's a lot of time that I was like over exploring, and then coming up with something that really doesn't make sense, or like just not answering the business question at all, and investing a lot of time basically. Because like business project and the data science project having like usually have like tight deadline. Just keep it simple first. Keep everything simple. Using a simple model, using a simple analysis, usually it's already work. Just keep it simple first. So maybe that I'm gonna share from my initial mistake.
Awesome. That's quite insightful. One more question which another learner, Abhishek, asked. It's a bit of a broad question, but he wanted to know how to increase the domain knowledge while working as a data scientist or just starting up.
All right, yeah, I have a little writing about it. So domain knowledge is quite broad, and every kind of a company have like their own domain knowledge. But if you are not employed as for example, like myself is in the insurance industry, and if you are interested in insurance industry, but you are not employed as people who are in the insurance industry, so the only thing that we can do is like a research, of course, like reading it, how the system works, how it's going to be, but related with the data science project that we're gonna do. But the best things that we could actually get the experience for domain knowledge is going involved in the business itself, like getting internship or actually in the business, but in the another area. So I know that a lot of people that come to the data want to become data scientists, they are initially working as something else first before even going to data scientist, and they, for example, like data analyst or like, for example, like data engineer. Then they are working in the industry and they get all this experience that for the domain knowledge. But of course, like this is really a lot of jump if you are going to do that. But if you are really interested as a data scientist from the beginning and you want to increase your domain knowledge, of course, only research that you could do. Research from the internet is already there, but research, or even like asking the question with the people from the business itself. For example, like talking in the LinkedIn, like I'm interested like in the business, how is it actually work? So it is something that you could do. But yeah, that's from my side.
Cool. I think it will give some insights to Abhishek. Thanks a bunch, Cornelius, for answering that. Yeah, you can continue. Yeah.
Okay, I hope it's helpful for everybody who listen to this. All right, after we are going to from data understanding, continue from our this, we are going to do the preparation of data. So we already have the data, then we need to prepare. So what kind of prepare? So for example, like selecting the data, we are selecting data that reflecting the business question. If we are filtering it, we are filtering it, for example, like previously I already talked, right, that we are not having this age, this customer age, or like something that filter that reflect in the business question. Then of course, like cleaning data, feature engineering, formatting the data. So this is something that are more specific to data scientists, not necessarily that you need to be aligned for the business question, but make sure that when you are doing the data cleaning, the feature engineering, the formatting of data, it was done correctly, so you don't have any technical debt that basically become a waste of time in the later time. Because for example, you are cleaning data, and then you are imputing a new data or correcting the data, but it doesn't necessarily correct. Then you are already having like a lot of analysis, blah blah blah, and going to already modeling engineering. Then basically you realize that the data is not correct. You going back again to this part. It's already basically waste of time. So this is something that the technical that you need to be like more detailed. You have like a reason to correct the data. You have the reason to doing this feature engineering, but just make sure that you keep it in the detail. Keep the detail really close. Then we are coming to the modeling part.
Sorry to stop you. I think Nikhil have one interesting question here.
All right, sure.
On the data preparation part, which you mentioned earlier. So
Yes.
he wanted to know, when or how do we know that our data is enough and stop collecting it?
When the data is enough.
Yeah, while collecting it, and when should we stop the process of collecting it?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say that this is the enough. Yeah, of course, like one row of data is not enough, but it's more about the business itself and the population itself. So, for example, yeah, right, in the industry, like for myself, like in the insurance industry, that we have like a lot of business channel. So we know that the population of the business, every kind of a channel is different. So, for example, business channel A, this is the biggest channel. We know this have like a bigger population to coming from. So so the data from there that we could cleaning out and we could select is like really big, but the population that coming from the business channel B is a little bit small because we already know that the business keep it really small. This is like, for example, like for exclusive people, for exclusive, really rich people. This is like a business sense like that. Of course, the data going to be small in there, like not many rich people that in there. So rather than we are saying like it's enough, that's the only data that was available. But this is like the one that reflecting the business question. But this is coming back again to the business side, right? Or is it like enough or not? Of course, having like a lot of data, more data is good. But of course, the quality itself that we need to control is like really quality. Is it like only just become a garbage out? But at the very least, you need to have like a, I cannot say a number, but like you already feel this adequate that statistically technique could actually analyze it. So yeah, I cannot say like really for certain that this is the number. Is coming from again from the business question, coming from again from the business line, coming again from the statistical technique that you use.
Right. Got it. A couple of more questions, which are popping on the similar lines from the learners. So one follow-up question which Nikhil asked is, what methods can someone use in day-to-day scenarios for data cleaning? If you can share your experiences on it, how do you go about data cleaning in your day-to-day scenarios?
Yeah, there's a lot, of course, like for the cleaning of the data. So, for example, from in my set, we already have like a business role. So we already established. Actually, we already established an automation role itself. That this is the format, the correct format, this is the correct categorical, this is like the correct imputation. So this is like in real life experience of in the real company. We are usually already discussed between our team. So we have like a team data quality, of course, like the data quality team that we already talked with the business people. We already established the rule that this is the format, this is the things, this is the how the statistically distribution is going to be. It's already been taking account. But of course, like this is already talking with the business people, and then we already have like a prepared for the automation in the place. But this is like when we are talking about real already big business. But we are talking about only a day-to-day cleaning for like example for newly people in data science, when you are going to want to have like data science. Just basic stuff like description, the data to describe for the statistic. For example, like your for the outlier analysis, for the normality analysis, for the basic stats, quantile. is and like from the basic visualization, correlation, this has already been good for try to clean data.
Got it. And in general, how do we know that our data quality is good or bad? Abhishek asked this question. If you can, share your inputs on it.
Sorry, is it like the quality? Is it good or bad?
Yeah.
Okay, it's really interesting because it's of course coming back again to the business question, like the quality again. But for example, like if you have like the data with a lot of missing data, like a lot of the data that basically just randomly, what's it called again? Not randomly missing. Like the categorical is like just randomly being generated, or basically the number that don't really have a lot of outlier that doesn't make sense, because outlier something makes sense, but it's like what is I said like that doesn't make sense. It's like the number, for example, like a salary, like like people that is like the generation usually making is like this number, but suddenly there's a lot of things that the salary is just going too small, or like a lot of negative, or like something that basically doesn't make sense in the data itself. So yeah, basically data quality, you need to be checked about again with the domain itself.
Got it. By the way, there are so many thank you messages coming in the chat. So yeah, thanks a bunch, for answering all those questions and sharing your insights.
Yeah, of course. Because like when we are talking about the data quality, data cleansing, I have like a lot of technique that I could like think of like suddenly, but of course like there's a lot of exploration that coming from there, because like every data that coming from the company, from in my company, like the data that incoming, usually already being checked with the role. So when we are doing the data cleaning, it's always already been actually having like a little bit cleaning in the beginning.
Right.
So that,
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
But of course, like it's like really important to actually really know from the domain knowledge.
Right.
Okay. Let me continue.
Sure.
When we are coming to the modeling part. So this is like when we are developing our machine learning model. So when we are developing our machine learning model to answer the business question, it's important to selecting a model. Yeah, you could experiment with main model, of course, but there's like, of course, a benchmark model is that you could have to discuss with the business, and it will be desirable if you could explain why you're selecting a certain algorithm, and then justify how you design the test, and then you need to develop the model and consider the business question, like, is it like possible to develop this kind of business, the model for the business, or is it like the resources is costly, and then etc. for the question. And then we need to assess the model itself, like the statistical metrics, and choose which are the model that are really good for the business question. But basically, like the best model is not necessarily the model that good in the business. We don't need to try to achieve the perfection. What we need is like a good enough model that actually making into the business. A simple model with explainability, a simple model with a result that could be justified is actually better than a model that really complicated, but cannot make it into the production at all. So in the real working, like we are always choosing the model that could be justified, and then it's a good enough in the production. And then lastly, we are coming to the evaluation. So I only explained for the CDM at the evaluation, because the deployment is already like a lot of stuff for really technical. But the evaluation is like not necessarily something that medical modeling technical, like accuracy, precision, or something. But this is more evaluation about the business indicator and what to do next with our model. So we are need to evaluate our result. Will the business success criteria be met using our model? And which model we going to choose when we are evaluating our result? And then we are going to review the process, like, is there anything that missing? Is there going to need time when we are developing the model? And is it like already correct that we already executed? We need to like summarize our finding and then try to correct if there's something that are required. And then from the evaluation that we already done, we need to determine what is our next step. Is there going to be a new model or a new project? So this is a step that I feel like for many of the data enthusiasts that really overlook, because this is something that not really taught a lot for the business evaluation, but this is something that actually really important. When you are already create your data science portfolio, you don't need, maybe you don't need to like going really deep until like determine this is the next step that I'm going to do. Is something that really need to be done in the business. But just basically evaluate, is your model good enough to match your business success? Or is it like something that need to be improved? Even if you are failed in the data science project, if your model basically, for example, like your accuracy is just 50, just 60, or like just really bad, but try to evaluate it, because you want to we want to see, is it like your model that you already created going to answer business success criteria or not? If they are not, why? Because that why is actually more important rather than the best model. So this is like from the businessscience.io. If you want to learn more about the business science problem, why it is really important that you understand the business. This is something you could try to read later. So this is something that more detailed that I already explained. Yeah, so this some of the learning material that I could give to you. You could like try to learn it from the best, like from this article that I already given here, to really learn that business is really important as a data scientist. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, I already talked a lot. So we have going to have more time if you have any question. So basically that's all from my side. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a bunch, Cornelius, for such an insightful session. I mean, like, the learners were totally engaged and were asking the questions throughout the session. And there were so many thank you messages for you throughout the chat. So once again, thank you so much for the session. There is one last question which one of the learners asked. It's around the initial thing which you mentioned, so generally, we all see that most of the data science projects needs to fail business expectations, right? So how can we go about setting the right expectations within the team?
Yeah. When you are try to create a data science project, of course, like there's not imagination, I say it, like a little bit creativity actually when you are as a data enthusiast. Of course, like you are not involved in the business, but you are want to go in some kind of industry. So for example, you want going to the insurance industry, because I'm in insurance, I understand more about insurance. But for example, you want to go to the industry and you are develop this kind of machine learning model. I'm interested to develop customer segmentation mode and customer leads. So you're going to give new leads to the customer, give a new leads, customer leads. I know like this project going to have what's it called, giving new leads of the customer. But what is the success? How could I define the success? This is coming actually like more about you need to have like more research, of course. That, for example, like the industry revenue is like 100 million rupiah every industry. Usually the sales 100 billion rupiah. Like this is something the revenue that already always coming. So I know from the research that they are always giving the report 100 billion rupiah. I think if my business model, machine learning model is success, is something that when we are predicted it and applying it to the business, is going to improve rather than just 100 million rupiah, but it's like more than 100 million rupiah. It's maybe 150, 170, something like that. But it's of course taking a creativity of, okay, when you are setting up the business criteria for the success. But what I could give to you, like what I would say, that when you are initiate the business project, the data science project, when you are going to have like a business question, yeah, try to research rather than just randomly try to have like, this is like a really interesting project that I want, so I need to develop the machine learning model. This is the accuracy, but also research how the industry work, how the report revenue is. You don't need to like really detail in the company, maybe just as a general, but just coming from the research, you could get some kind of number that you could actually try to using your machine learning model could achieve. So I mean, that's from me.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's the perfect note to end the session as well. Thanks a bunch everyone who joined the session, and we hope you enjoyed it. And many thanks to Cornelius, for taking his time and doing this session. Once again, thank you so much, Cornelius. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. I hope it's useful for you all. Bye-bye.